Hi there. So we'll come to our mat starting in mountain pose. Just standing tall. We'll start with our feet. You can wiggle your toes, feel all four corners, maybe raise your heels. So just create a little more awareness, send a little love to our feet. You can curl toes, maybe even press one foot back and press the toenails towards your mat. Stretching the top of the foot. Because we love having our feet in a strong foundation, but just even beginning with awareness and stretching the feet themselves. And then as we stand tall, really rooting down, anchoring down into the feet, press down into all four corners, the inner and outer corner of the feet. And as we root down, just feel that energetic awakening as it travels into our legs. Firing up the legs, squeeze the glutes, strong from the waist down. As we open up the palms, can inhale, lift the shoulders up towards our ears, and exhale back and down. And again, inhale, little squeeze, and then release. We want to bring our hands behind the back. Can interlace your fingers or maybe bring fists into the lower back, maybe just wrapping one hand around the opposite wrist. Whatever is good for you to open up the heart space. So thinking about the space here in the chest, the spaciousness as we squeeze shoulder blades, just allowing the entire heart space or the chest to laterally or horizontally open up even more. And let's take our gaze up towards the ceiling. And pause here. Maybe take a few breaths, maybe add a smile. Just seeing where we are for today, listening to our bodies. Are there any areas in the upper back, in the shoulders, in your neck, where maybe there's a little extra tension today? So we want to be kind. We want to listen to our bodies. Let go of any judgment or fear that, oh, maybe somebody's watching me, or maybe I need to do things the way I used to do them. And if your body's healing, we might need to just kind of back off on that a little bit and just hold the pose at that edge and take a few breaths rather than pushing or forcing our way. From here, we're going to hinge to a half forward fold. Can bring our hands to the thighs, line up shoulder to hip. Pause here, find lots of length in the back of our legs. Can walk our feet in place, maybe alternate one heel then the other. Or maybe even lift your toes. If you already feel like your calves are kind of warm and that's available to you, you can lift your toes. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale in through your nose. Maybe even let your back lift and round, and then exhale, a little lift in the tailbone. Squeeze your belly in. Squeeze the abdominals in towards your spine. And find that a couple more times. Just a big full breath into the belly. And then exhaling. Squeeze up towards the spine. And then as you're ready, start to bend the knees. Let yourself melt into kind of a ragdoll, gentle forward fold, bend the knees. Even just letting our head hang loosely here. Chin can tuck in towards the chest. Start to move around here. Or if you want to stay still, that's always an option, but we can let our hands move a little side to side. It can even be lifting one heel as we're turning. Keep the knees bent just so it's soft. And then to our first down dog. As our hands are shoulder width apart, we're stepping our feet back like an upside down V. You can walk our feet in place here. Just letting ourselves be curious in down dog. Lengthening as we're finding more space in our back, space in the arms, back of the legs, all those great areas. The benefits of an inversion with our head below the heart, our head feeling, there's less weight, less compression in the neck and the cervical spine and in the shoulders, just letting the head hang loosely, maybe even just do some little rotation or nod your head yes, shake your head no. Just freestyle. What feels good to you today in downward facing dog? Make it your own. In our next breath, we're going to flow into plank pose and hold here, bringing shoulders over the wrists, squeeze, our heels are lifting. Draw the belly in. And just start to let your knees come down to the mat. Child's pose as we exhale, taking our hips back to our heels. And in child's pose, can be still or move around. It's all about just coming into our practice mindfully, slowly, kindly, with lots of kindness. And from child's pose, let's just go on into a kneeling half series. Child's pose, kneeling plank, shoulders over the wrist, and then exhale, crocodile. Squeeze elbows in, squeeze the glutes, let your belly melt towards the floor slowly, and then our next breath, our inhale, we're lifting into cobra, and exhaling child's pose. So let's do about 4 or 5 more sets at our own pace and matching our breath with our movement. Maybe try breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Yoga breathing, and that just more awareness. Whatever works for you here to help create more awareness is going to benefit, and it's going to get better. It will get easier. Maybe even alternate curling toes under and pointy toes when we're coming back to child's pose. Really bring awareness into our feet. We can rest in child's pose, maybe stillness or maybe moving around. Walking both arms over to the right side, left arm long. Let your left bicep come alongside the left ear. And then sink back. You can sink hips back to your heels. Or maybe even just a little shift forward and back. Exhaling as we take our hips back to our heels. And then we'll switch sides, walking both arms over to the left side, and then aware of the right arm coming alongside the right ear. And again, moving or just kind of Snuggling into child's pose, little side to side in the hips. And then come back to seated. Reaching forward, finding that length in the arms, out of the armpits, and then slowly bring shoulders forward. Kneeling plank. Can add extra padding under the knees at any point too if you'd like to. We want to take care of the joints and then just start to hover and hold in our crocodile. We're going to bring the ribs in close, the elbows in close to the ribs. Slowly let your hips come to the floor and then exhale. Just checking in. Crocodile arms. And then as we press down into our hands, feel all four corners in our hands, just like we do with our feet. Squeeze the elbows to the ribs, slowly lifting into cobra. Checking in here. We want to keep a nice space, lots of space between our ears and shoulders. You can even add just a little micro bend in the elbow. And then we're coming back to child's pose. Exhale. And then just flow on into all fours at your own pace. We're cat and cow, flowing, exhale cat and inhale cow. Exhale cat. Press all the air out of the belly and drawing our belly button in. And inhaling cow. Our movement is articulating as we go up the spine, start at the base, at the tail. When we arch, lifting into cat. And then as we go into cow, same thing, lift the tail, come up the spine. Okay, even let your chin tuck in and unfold or unfurl the chin last. And then from all fours, that should be our perfect launching point to come up into down dog, where the hands are placed, curl the toes under, lift, pressing back as we take the hips tall, lengthen, and that should be a really good down dog positioning of hands to feet, how far apart they are. Let's walk feet and hands together, coming into forward fold. And then reversing our swan dive, sweep the arms tall. Inhaling, we're coming up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale to chair, take the hips back. So we want to keep knees above ankles as much as possible. Maybe even prayer hands twist to the right. Keeping that straight line of knee back to the hips. So we're not swinging into the hips, but keep the hips squared. And then we're lifting the top elbow. The neutral chin, maybe looking down, maybe looking towards the back of the mat. And if it's available, can add a shoulder opener here. Inhale, reaching tall. Maybe sink a little deeper in the hips. And take our gaze up. And release. Forward fold. And then reversing swan dive. Sweep the arms tall. Roll up the spine. Draw the belly in. Lifting. Chair on our exhale. Take the hips back. And then a twist. Option can bring elbow to knee, forward, and a shoulder opener, left hand from the heart. Reaching tall. You can look up, challenge our balance, breathe, draw the belly in, get into the detox benefits of our twist. So we squeeze those abdominals, encouraging abdominal organs to do their job. And then exhale the forward folding. Find length again in the spine. Can take in another down dog here. Maybe being still, or maybe if you want to flow, can move through half series. Maybe your flow is on your knees again, or maybe it's a full body flowing into plank, crocodile, and cobra. Just move with our breath. Mindful, aware. Finding ways to enhance our practice and maximize all the benefits. Breath, alignment, focal point, engage the core. Let's take our left leg tall. Raise and lower the right heel in a three-legged dog. And then let's pause. Maybe the heel stays lifted, or maybe your heel comes to the floor. Just find where that's a good spot for you. And slowly do a leg lift. We're going to take the left leg towards our mat. Stay in the same plane. Draw the belly in. And then inhale, big breath, and lift. Exhale and lower. But move with strength as we're drawing the belly in. It's not just gravity taking over, or letting the leg collapse, or just move towards the floor on its own. Use a little resistance as you slow things down. Inhale and lift. Let's do one more. This time, lift the right heel because we're going to step forward. Looking at our hands, step the left foot up between our hands. In a low lunge, pause here. Lifting our back heel, right heel above the toes. And breathe. Squeeze the belly in each exhale. So that creates a core engagement, but it's also a real strong sense of anticipation. Looking forward, but looking forward in strength and focus. Good. So from here, we're going to come up into lunge. Slowly take your time so you can keep drawing your belly in. We're going to walk our hands to the left knee, focusing eyes to the front of our mat, and then gradually bring the head and shoulders up. Stacking over hips. Lots of strength here. I'm going to switch my direction. If you want to, you can use the wall. Let your back leg, that right foot, right heel, lift up into the wall. So we get that really great lunge foot. Sweep the arms out wide. Lengthening through our fingertips. Have the heart space opening. And let's take our gaze up. Find where it's a little shaky, hovering. And just when you think you've really got it, bring in the arms. So that even changes our sense of counterbalance a little bit more. Come back to center, reach out, and then we're going to twist. Take both arms over to the left side. You can bring prayer hands to heart. Rooting down into both feet. And then come back to center. Beautiful. We'll step our right foot to the front. You can shake it out. And then from our mountain pose flow, all the way back to down dog. Inhale, we're sweeping tall. Exhaling, Forward fold. Can be legs straight or legs bent. Into half forward fold, we are straightening the legs. Bring shoulders up in line with the hips. And then exhale, down dog. This time, let's take the right leg tall so we can raise and lower the left heel. And a three-legged dog. And then we're holding still, let the right leg, slowly lower it in a leg lift, but let's keep the leg engaged. Maybe flex the foot, that can help with the engaging the muscles in the leg. Inhale as we lift tall. Exhale and lower. One more. Tracking that foot. If you want to track your movement, you can also track where your foot is in space. As you lower the leg, we're keeping it just almost like if we had a little groove there, we would want to follow that same path, that same groove. As we lift, take the left heel taller, just step right foot to the front, coming down into our low lunge, lift the back heel. So find where that heel can get up over the toes. Keep strengthening feet. And then I'll turn towards the front. I'm using the wall with my left foot, pressing into the wall. And then breathe. Squeeze abdominals in. Each exhale. Almost like you're massaging your belly, or think of a washcloth when you twist and wring it in, wring it out. So even just without being in a spinal twist, massage the belly. We'll start to lift slowly, pressing down, rising up. Take the arms wide. Letting our gaze move further away and up. Bring hands in, maybe twist. Bring prayer hands in our twist. And back to center. And we'll take the arms tall. Exhale down to the mat with our hands and step forward to forward fold. Let's go ahead and move into a warrior two stance. We're stepping right foot back. After we come up to mountain pose, strong, steady, draw the belly in, float the right foot back, point the toes to the long side of the mat. Then we're bringing our arms in at shoulder height, looking over the left hand, breathing. Bring the right arm in line with the shoulder as well. Strong feet, continue to anchor down. Looking over the left hand. And reverse your warrior. As you take left hand tall, right hand can rest or maybe cross over towards the back of the left hip. And then we're going to flow on into side angle. Beautiful. Left arm to left thigh. Right hand, open, reach. Circling forward and back. Extend over the right ear. Continue to anchor down into the right outside edge of our foot. Nice and open, even maybe lift the right elbow to help open up the chest, the heart space. So we're not rounding towards the floor, but Beautiful and open. Slowly come back to that first position and turn both feet towards the long side of the mat in a standing straddle as we find our hip creases, half forward fold. Lots of length in our spine and the back of the legs. Breathe. Find where you can draw in the abdominals on each exhale. You can practice yoga breathing in through our nose, out through the nose. So we're not trying to go deeper in our straddle stretch. Rather, breathe. Bring more power to the core. So then we'll walk our hands back to the front, pivot both feet towards the front of our mat. Let the right foot come up about halfway in pyramid pose. Can use our block here. And then exhale, anchoring down again into both feet. Lots and lots of lengthening in both legs and in our spine. Maybe exhaling our face in towards the shin. And then go ahead and walk it into a 3-point balance. Bringing our hands shoulder width apart. We're lifting right leg to hip height. Pause here, holding. Or if you feel a little adventuresome today, maybe add the right leg, left arm can open out like a wing. One more breath here. And then forward fold. We're bringing it in. Exhale. Hugging elbows. Move a little side to side. And then from center, returning to mountain pose. Inhale, sweep arms tall. Exhale. Left foot stepping back. Warrior 2. Right foot at the front, and then we're lifting our arms to shoulder height, looking over right hand, taking our gaze that direction, squeeze the belly in. So the ebb and flow of our breathing, whether it's fast or whether it's slow right now, it creates the opportunity to really draw in from the core, squeeze, and then that brings more stability into our standing poses, more power. Let the right arm slowly lift, and left hand can rest or slide around to the back of the right hip. Maybe sink a little deeper in the hips. Maybe take your gaze up with the chin. And then we'll flow to side angle, right arm to the right thigh, left hand over the heart, unhinge from our elbow and reach. Circle. And back. And then extend, bringing left arm over the left ear. So we root down into our feet. Feel how that anchoring also helps stabilize and align, where we can really feel the side body stretch benefits. Awesome. And start to lift, coming back into our standing straddle with a half forward fold. We're tucking our fingertips into the hip creases. Then can use our block here to make the arms a little longer. So let's just use our straddle stretch as another opportunity to breathe. Squeeze the belly in with each exhale. And then just wherever you are today, in standing straddle, maybe let the head hang loosely. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Maybe lengthening through the back of the legs, maybe lifting into the tailbone. And we'll just start to bring heel toe, feet in towards each other. And turning, let's turn both feet towards the short end of our mat for another 3-point balance, lifting right leg to hip height. No, I'm sorry, lift the left leg. And then if you want to move it into a 2-point balance, you can reach right arm out like a wing. That's where we're going. And then just start to slowly bring it in to forward fold. You can move a little side to side. And then just take this into a deep squat. We're going to use the block. You can have your feet right at hip width apart or a little bit wider. And just let your hips slowly sink down. And then use your block. So we can anchor into the block. Bringing prayer hands into heart. Open out the knees. And use some resistance here. Let your knees resist. Press your knees into the elbows while your elbows are pressing into the knees. Breathing. Let's bring in that breath awareness. Being mindful. Draw the belly in. We're not trying to take the pose any deeper or any more even questioning our ability of a deep squat, but rather breathe. Bring in the breath work whatever station you are in. Power from the core, stabilizing. Awesome. As we release, we'll just add a twist here, moving into it gently. Left hand can cross over to right ankle. Maybe right hand to your hip or right hand to the outside of your right knee. Open up the chest, the heart space. Let your emphasis really be there in a twist. Then if it's available and you want to add a shoulder opener, you can bring right hand over the heart, lift the right elbow. Reach, add a twist with an arm shoulder opener. Or how about a half wrap here? You can let the right hand slide behind to the left hip and just keep opening up the right side of the chest. Press that right shoulder, right elbow towards the back. So keep your left elbow and left knee open. Beautiful. And release. Go ahead and switch sides. I'm just going to turn around here on my block. And start again with prayer hands, sitting tall. So on the block, it might find it a little more available, a little more accessible to bring shoulders over the hips. So there's length in the spine again. More of a neutral chin. Rather than leaning way forward, try to bring it back in alignment with our spine. And then as we release, let's twist to the left side. Maybe it's right hand to right knee. Maybe right hand to left ankle. If I said left knee, I hope I did. can add our shoulder opener option. Keep the right leg nice and open, not collapsing in, which it may want to do. And then release, exhaling. Good job. Let yourself just kind of tilt forward. Maybe even lift your heels as you bring your hands, starfish hands to the mat. Press down into both hands. Put your knees into the elbows and really engage here, knees and elbows. Even shift your weight a little bit forward. Lift the heels of our feet. From here, we know we can go into a little arm balance. For today, let's just come back up, standing in forward fold. And then reverse swan dive to mountain pose. Inhaling, we're sweeping arms tall, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale into heart. As we step our right foot back in warrior two, let's go ahead and slide the left arm onto the left thigh. You can use a strap here or your hand towel. And we'll be holding it in the right hand and bring it behind our back. Just kind of let it dangle. And remember, we want it to be up closer to the knee rather than a wedgie down the back side. You can take your left hand under to reach the strap. And then as we're lengthening, can hold here, or if you want to sink a little deeper, left hand can come to our block and open and twist, or to the mat, open and twist. There's a bigger opportunity there. Left hand can also reach under left leg. Reach over, maybe touch the fingertips, and then come back into that straight line. From here, we're going to step to the front with our right foot. Can drop our strap, but we're going to slowly come upright into a standing position. Bring the left knee in, lifting the left heel, maybe just starting there as we're coming into mountain pose, nice and tall, stacking joints. Engage the belly and start to slowly bring left knee in, and a standing knee hug. Release, walk it out. And start to switch sides. We'll step our left foot back in warrior two. Come on into side angle. And then our strap, if we want to explore with the strap, or the hand towel, is going to be in left hand going behind us. Bring it up closer to the right knee. And then reach under. Find where that left arm is nice and open into the shoulder. Chest and heart space open. Less and doing it well is better than trying to do more and not doing it well, especially in this one. Again, we can come into right hand to fingertips, the block, or even the hand flat, or reach under and let the fingertips touch if that's available. So start to find where that bind, a little more flexibility, going a little deeper. And then from here, walk the left foot to the front. And then as we come up, we'll find a standing knee hug. Hug the knee. And just do the opposite one of what you did last. I've lost track of which one I did. I thought I did hugging my right knee, but it feels like I did my left knee first. Either one. So and then experiment. If you want to just stay here for a minute or two and go back and forth and see which leg might have more standing balance strength for you. Sometimes one leg has more than the other. That's okay. That's why we keep practicing both sides. Build strength in both sides, but also build awareness. Keep training our brain because it makes both sides work equally, and that's also from our brain. We want to keep those areas firing up in the pathways of our brain. Very nice. So we come back into standing. Let's inhale, reach tall. Exhaling, forward fold. Step back to down dog. And from down dog, let's bring right leg up. Take your right leg tall and then step it to the front. We're going to come into pigeon using the block. Lengthen back into the left leg really far. Open up that hip flexor, maybe even pause here in this deeper kneeling lunge and opening up the left hip flexor, lengthening the quadricep into the knee. Then start to find your block and set it underneath the right sits bone. And we're going to walk the right foot in, bring the knee to the floor, and then support the sits bone, the right back of the right hip. Flex the right foot, anchor down. Take a few breaths here. Again, nice and long in the left leg. And then as you're ready and able, you can come down to forearms or to stacked hands. And we can bring our forehead that direction. Exhale, slowly let yourself sink that direction. Finding where our breath can still be powerful, engage and draw the belly in. And then we'll start to come up, bringing hands in under the shoulders. Use your arm strength. So maybe holding here, maybe even lift the left knee and extend the left leg. Or it can come into a half bow where we bend the left knee, bring the left foot in towards our hip, and then left hand can reach back for the ankle. Maybe start with gazing towards the front, or for more balance work, can turn and look towards the back. And just holding this position, holding it, whether it's easy or whether it's a little bit of a challenge, holding it can help build our strength, our balance, the proprioception of where we are in space, the flexibility, all of the elements that go into that. So as we start to transition and switch sides, curl your left toes under, lift your left knee, kind of lean forward as you curl right toes under, and that'll give you the leverage to step back to down dog. We're going to be stepping our left foot to the front from down dog and pigeon pose. We're going to slide the block under the left sits bone and right leg extending long. Lots and lots of length. Take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, bring it to forward fold. You can come to stacked fists like this, or can have just your hands flat. Stack the hands, whatever works for you here. You can use a block if you want to keep it taller. Might have to take your neighbor's block. I don't know. Oh, goodness. And again, just finding that space that's available, breathing, drawing the belly in. And then as we transition, we're bringing our hands in under the shoulders to straighten the arms, lifting with our arms straight. And then option for half bow, bring the right foot in and reaching back. As we release and transition, curl right toes under, lift that right knee, and start to lean forward. Make space for the left foot to curl under and step back to down dog. Let's go ahead and come down to our forearms, Sphinx arms, in dolphin pose. We're going to bring the crown of our head, the top of our head, towards the mat, and the back of our head, more the occiput, or a little above that, into the cradle of our hands. Just raise and lower heels a couple of times. And then step back in a dolphin plank. Hold. Squeeze. And release. Sphinx pose on our forearms. Let the big toes turn in. Soften into the glutes. And a big breath. Exhale over left shoulder. Switching sides. Back to center. Inhale over right shoulder. Exhale over left, right. And again on each side, one more time. Big inhale. Exhale over left. Back to center. Exhale over right. As we come back to center, transitioning onto our backs, we'll hug the elbows in as we lift into cobra. Exhale, child's pose. All fours, and then just swing your feet around. Start to come onto your bottom, and then we're rolling onto our backs. Bring the knees in and give ourselves a big hug. Can rock a little side to side. And then just gradually take that into some windshield wipers with our feet wider than hip width or to the outside edges of the mat. And exhale. Both knees move to the right. Inhaling back to center. And both knees exhaling to the left. You can continue to flow just a couple more times, real gentle with our breath. I'm going to have to turn this because I don't have enough space. Exhale, knees one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees to other side. Let's just do one more set, and then we'll take it into spinal twist. We'll bring both knees in, give ourselves a big hug, and then a one leg hug, a single leg hug, extending our left leg. Let it rest on the floor. Hug the right knee in. And then we're guiding the right knee over to the left side as we open out right arm. Open and connect the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, those joints. And take our gaze towards the right. Think about 6 longer breaths here. And then come back to center. We're sliding both feet in so we can hug both knees and switch sides. Right leg long, rested on the mat. Left knee hugs in. And start to guide the left knee over to the right side and open out left arm. You can also just kind of evaluate one side from the other. Can use your block if you want to underneath the knee. If the like IT band, hip, low back, any of those areas, if there's tightness going on, then support your knee so that you can rest. It can be more restorative. You can breathe without it feeling like you're catching on your breath. And relax down the right side. Softening, supported. And then back to center. And when you're ready, just go on and move into a final resting pose, taking a few minutes here on our backs. Or if you want to move to the wall, can use the wall for legs up the wall. Can add a layer if you feel chilled at all in the room. Keep the warmth in your muscles. Add a pair of socks or a blanket or a jacket, just so that you stay warm. Our muscles are still warm as we're cooling down, supported. Maybe even do a little body scan, curl your toes, clench, hold for a few counts, feel where that travels. And then soften and relax. Let your calves relax, your knees, and up into the thighs. Same thing, come to the glutes and squeeze, hold. Feel where that travels muscularly in your body, even if it's feeling it in your legs, the knees, down the back of the legs, maybe up into your lower back. And then soften. Let the glutes relax. Turn off. Sometimes that's a hard area to turn off. So maybe do it a couple of times till you find where, yeah, okay, I did that. That really did work. Hands, we're going to squeeze and make tight fists. I like to feel how that travels in my arm, up past the elbow, even into my shoulders. You even feel more anchored down into the floor when you're gripping and clenching. And then instead soften and just let yourself feel supported rather than nailed down to the floor. Just let yourself feel supported, almost like you're floating, but yet there's a little more awareness, a little more connection with, we are really still connected to the mat, connected to the floor, connected to the earth. Then coming to our faces, tighten and squeeze, hold for a few counts and then release. You can do the jaw, teeth, eyes and eyebrows. And then soften each area one at a time. And just take a few minutes here and enjoy the calmness that you've helped create in this space. The space of this room that you're in, and then the space that we have in our bodies, and the space we've created just in stretching and making more room for blood flow, more room for flexibility and less pain. Just enjoy what you've helped create in your own body. Take a few minutes here. Just start to move a little, wiggle fingers and toes. As you're ready, you can roll to your side and start to come up to a seated position. As we come into seated, we'll end with some head rolls, circle one direction and then the other. And then from center, let's inhale, arms tall. And exhale, prayer, hands into heart. And thank you. And have a blessed day. Thank you all for participating.